You really got to be careful of individuals who say over and over and over again for thousands of years that they are chosen by their deity, but that history puts on full display that they are not. Because what you will end up finding, no matter how many times they say it to themselves, I am chosen, I am chosen, I am chosen, I am the one, I'm the one. What you will find is that they had, in the end, just chosen themselves. This is the time. I've maintained this for a very long time on this app. This is the time that the God of the Abrahamic religions can stand up and say, point of clarification, you all are in order. And I'm talking about all of the little isms that are associated with that deity. This is the time you stand up and you make a bold, concise, and clear statement that this is how I feel. This is who I am. This is how I'm to be represented. I exist. But instead of that, we get a lot of statements from alleged adherents, the believers, and none from that God. And I think you all need to sit in the disgust that should make you feel. I don't want to hear from people who are going to call themselves prophets. I don't. Because every time you have to use a human as like a deity to, say what you need to say to those people, it shows that you have a deficiency. Shows that you have a deficiency, that either you can't speak to the beings that you are saying that I am your God, and you can't stand up yourself and make bold proclamation and clarification for yourself, or you just can't be bothered. And I think people need to sit in the discomfort of that. Because I think that humanity needs to unwind its mind from cultish adherence of a deity or deities altogether. And that they need to look at history and see just stare at what the Abrahamic religions have done for. Let's just pick a 500 year. Let's just pick 500 years. You got 1,000, but go ahead and pick 500 years. Look at what are the wages. Look at what are the actions of the Abrahamic religions. Look at what they do to each other. And stare at the carnage. And don't sit and justify for any of it. Any of it. Don't sit and provide a justification. Ask the deity. Demand of the deity. Explain. Because what we're seeing right now from the Abrahamic religions as the extremists among them tantrum all over the world tantruming. We are seeing death and destruction. And we are watching how religion of, we'll just say, the Abrahamic families are putting on full display how much they are an albatross, a dead decaying bird hung around the neck of their deity. And I think humanity needs to ask itself, even if you believe, and even whether or not you believe, you need to ask yourself, you need to do a cost and benefit analysis. Is it worth it to associate with that deity? What is that deity doing within this world that makes it so worth associating with that deity? I know, and each of you are going to say, hey, I had this happen, I had that happen, I believe that this is a miracle and that is a miracle, and etc., etc. Now, but what you're going, and I'm not going to deny you your beliefs, but what I want you, and what I want for mankind to understand and really to do, because here's the takeaway. It's Wednesday. Most of you have been primed to believe that this is the second day of the week that you go to church. And some of you, whether you do that or you don't, I want you to sit and think. And I want you to ask yourself, has it been worth it? the association between mankind and this deity? Has it been worth it? And then you need to sit and ask yourself, why do I feel that way? Because each person tends to fall back into their own personal, or what they believe are personal experiences. And because they feel that they have benefited from that deity, or they are too afraid because of their brainwashing, they're too afraid to question, to buffet, to demand an explanation from that deity. And instead they fall back into well, let me explain. Because I can hear the apologists going now, let me explain. You can't blame God. If you want to be God and you want to be known as the only one, you got to show us that you didn't just choose yourself as God. And you got to show us why we should be impressed, why we should sit and bear your judgment. And humanity needs to start doing that now. Right now. Because I know it's hard for people who are not critical thinkers, who don't think independently, and who practice their religion in a very cultish way. And they deny their humanity because they've been told to turn off their brain. And they've been told just to believe and have faith instead of thinking their way through it. Well, it's time for the God of the Abrahamic religion to stand before us all and explain. And change things if you're going to change them. If you've decided to work through humans, and recognize that you need to do a cost-benefit analysis of that. Maybe you yourself need to stand up and do it and not rely on a human being. Because as I have maintained on this channel, the fact that human beings were given religion, it's not just a leash or a bit, but that it is also a curse. To give someone a religion and have another human being teach another human being teach another human being about your philosophy, thoughts, and who you are has a massive margin of error. A massive margin of error. And we are seeing that right now. It is not going to ruin your relationship with your deity to look at that deity and say, put out or get out. Because as you all believe, that deity is telling you the same thing. Do as I say, believe in me, give all your money, or give your money to those who teach about me, fund their lives, and allow them to just be talkers. What are you getting out of that? It's time for tough love. I'm doing this the way Black women do it. It's time for tough love, for us to use tough love on that deity. It's time. I'm not trying to rob you of your faith. And even the format and the way I'm conveying what I'm saying is pretty challenging because I am Queen Heretic. And I'm going to say the things that you won't even begin to conceive of because you are too afraid to demand of your deity what is due. And it is time that mankind require and demand of your deity what is due. If you're my shepherd, you're my teacher, you're my protector, be it now. And be it for all people, whether or not they want to believe. And you arrange society in a way that is healthy, that is protective, that is imbued with life, that is imbued with the ability to be free to explore in this classroom which we are in, or leave mankind alone. Because very much so, no matter how you see your deity as something that is both individual to you, and you love the impact that deity has had on your life, that deity owes everybody that same care and kindness if you want to be the deity, the chosen one. Anyway, what do you guys think?